So, hello to everyone. How's everybody's trading going this week so far? This is the last week of May. Last week of trading. Everybody ending up profitable, hopefully, yes. Put a 1 in the chat if you're going to end up profitable for the month of May, and a 2 if you're going to end up in the red. Yanni's saying red. Copy that. We had our first red month, April. April was our first losing month in a year. April is our first losing month in a year, but we've already recovered all that for May and then some. Cameron says profitable. Chi-Chan says sideways. Constantine says profitable. Prem says profitable. Very nice, very nice. Very nice. Yeah, we've recovered all our... We'll be sharing our results end of Q2, which is end of June. Probably early July after we calculate and do all the numbers and stuff like that. But we've already covered the loss from April and then some, so we're back in the green and making a new high watermark, which is good. And so, yeah, May's been kind of there's been some rocky moments. It's been kind of like a lot of trend changes. Crypto had a big, sell-off and things like that. Constantine still 20%. Could be less by the end of the month. Copy that. I'm assuming because you have a fair amount of long crypto. Yeah, I'd imagine if you have a fair amount of long crypto went in the pisser last 2 weeks. We did tell you guys ahead of time in Ethereum, hey, we think Ethereum's going to roll over. Before the big weekly, we said watch out, we think Ethereum's going to roll over. And then it went straight in the pisser. But now you don't have to worry because we have a crypto portfolio now, which we mentioned to our members. So we have a crypto portfolio right now. It is... we have Ethereum. We bought the dip on Ethereum. We got XLM. We have Matic, which was Polygon. And then we have Ethereum, Stellar, Matic. I feel like there's another one I'm missing here. There is another one I'm missing. Let me look. Cardano. We have Cardano. Yeah. We bought that dip in all of them. Although the Matic one, Cardano, 88. The Matic one is interesting because it's only gone live recently. It didn't have as much leverage built into it like Ethereum or Bitcoin did. As I've said many, many times, that sell-offs are always, the biggest sell-offs will always be more impulsive and violent to the downside than buy-ups. And that is a function of order flow. That's a function of psychology. It's also a function of leverage. So, buy-ups, like when the market starts bottoming, those reversals generally are not as big as a big sell-off because there isn't as much inherent leverage built into the market. So that's the first reason. But sell-offs are, as trends continue to go up, like Bitcoin did, like Ethereum did, then those trends have a large amount of leverage built into them. And the more levered people are, the more likely they're going to take profit when that thing starts to sell off or they're going to close their positions rapidly. It'll just accelerate the losses. So that's the first thing. The second thing is generally when markets are in big uptrends, they're in a positive gamma environment. Positive gamma, for my option members know, is that when the market is in positive gamma, the market tends to be less volatile. When the market is in negative gamma, that means the market is short options. The market tends to be more volatile. And you generally don't have, long sustained trends that are in negative gamma territory. That just generally doesn't happen. So they can, but it's not often. And then you have psychology as well. And so all three of those things generally mean that after big sustained uptrends, those sell-offs are going to be far more impulsive than big sustained downtrends reversing to the upside. So, that's the whole sell-off in Bitcoin and Ethereum, not surprising. And, even in Bitcoin as a whole, if you had noticed, the top in Bitcoin was also the top when Coinbase went live. So that week, April 12th, as you can see right here. Right there, April 12th. Coinbase, when did it go live? April 12th, same week. Same week. And I did a little investigating in the Coinbase IPO because it's I expected it to be strong right off the bat, but then it sold off. And part of the reason why is that Coinbase wasn't really an IPO. It was a direct listing. And there's a difference. And generally direct listings are just opportunities for shareholders to cash out, basically, to get a paycheck. That's a huge function of direct listings. And literally, when you start to look at the kind of internals, literally almost every executive on Coinbase was dumping shares on the IPO. They were getting a payday. Well-deserved. Kudos to them. They built an amazing product, and they really helped to mainstream crypto trading in many ways. So they deserve that payday. But it's also important to understand that they were all dumping shares. They were dumping as much as they could. So that put a lot of pressure on crypto, and Bitcoin never recovered the highs. The high on Bitcoin was the Coinbase direct listing. That was it. Had one brief pullback into it, boom. So it took me a little bit to kind of find out what was going on with the Coinbase situation and how that was affecting crypto, but there you go. So we're going to talk about some crypto today. We'll talk about my portfolio. But let's start off with talking about Spies, Qs, IWMs. Then we'll talk some crypto. Look at a couple trades I'm in right now, and trade I'm thinking about getting in on Futu. And then we'll take a look at Benzinga movers for today. Also note, Monday is Memorial Day in the U.S. for those of you not living in the U.S. That means it's a holiday. That means the markets are closed on Monday. So we are not going to be doing our weekly video this week. We're not going to be publishing a new content piece. We are working on that content piece already. But we are going to be doing a live Q&A on Friday to end the week. So we will be doing another one of these, a longer version of these, probably about an hour. And that will be to end the week. So we will buffer that there, basically. So good morning to you, Jeremy. Good to see you. And Colin, Monday, UK is a holiday too. Oh, okay. Did not know that. Justin saying, was break even in FX, but crypto pushed me into profit for last month. Profit on equities only because of neutral options. There you go. There you go. Yeah, equities is probably a tougher month to be profitable in, just long equities or just short equities. Options definitely was a big part of our profit this month in May, for sure. For sure. We had some big ones there. So, but yeah, I'm not going to add in my crypto portfolio into my P&L calculation for our quarter because I don't even know how to import the data into TraderView. I don't even know how you collate two accounts. I don't even know if you can collate two separate accounts into TraderView, VUE.com. That's our trading journal. I don't even think you can collate two separate accounts in there and create some kind of amalgamation or something like that. So yeah, I'll have to figure out how to kind of share performance in crypto. That'll be tricky. If anybody knows a good trading journal for crypto, let me know in the chat. Okay, so let's start with Spies. As we've been telling our members for the last couple days, Spies is in what we call positive gamma territory. That means the market is net long options. And as we mentioned, when the market is net long options, you have less volatility. So when we look at Spies, we really don't feel like you can expect a mean reversion. That's exactly what we said yesterday, and it's exactly what happened. The market mean reverted a little bit. You can expect mean reversion today. So I think pullbacks to 418 and 417.32 are probably going to be decent dip buying opportunities. I really don't see volatility picking up in Qs. When I look at options positioning, option open interest, I really don't see volatility picking up until we break this kind of support here around 414 and clear the 414 strike. I think if we clear the 414 strike, you're going to see volatility pick up. Option dealers at that point and market makers are probably going to be forced to hedge and maybe start getting short or adding protection. And I think they'll create a push down to 410.55. If we lose this little point here, then I think you create another gap of volatility and another push down in Spies. And that starts putting pressure on 405 and 404. I don't think we're going to get there. I think positioning is going to continue to trim down to some degree, being that we have the holiday. A lot of people are not going to want to buy a bunch of new options going into the weekend, because if you're long options, what Greek are you also long? Which of my members can answer this question? So if you're long options, which Greeks are you long? Will Hema says CoinStats is decent. That's awesome. I'll take a look at that. Yeah, I'll take a look at CoinStats for sure. Let me put it in right now in case I miss it. Sweet. Thank you for that. Will Hema, shout out to you on that one there. I will definitely take a look at that one there. Wait, you're saying CoinStats, I can use this as a journal? And Lucky Scalper just subscribed. Welcome aboard, Lucky Scalper. Okay. Delta and Theta. Okay, also Gamma as well. So Theta is the main one. Theta is time decay. If you're a long options, every day you hold that option decays in value by the Theta value. And so if you're going to get long options on Thursday or Friday, you're technically going to take Theta Friday night, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. That means you're buying something that is going to lose value for about 5 days, and there's nothing you can do about changing that value or adjusting that position. So I think you're going to see options positions kind of start to close, not close down, but whittle down a little bit. Last night or yesterday, the option contracts on SPY was like, it's like one of the lowest readings in a long time. So it could be that traders are already preparing for this long weekend and kind of pairing positions ahead of time. That is certainly a possibility. So yeah, when I look at that, I think you're going to see a lot of reduction in positions, and that's going to naturally lead to less volatility in SPYs. So I'm not expecting any sort of gangster moves, but I do have my lines in the sand just in case, as you can see where my alerts are. So if you want to be long SPYs, don't buy breakouts, wait for dips, is my opinion on that one there. Qs, if I'm correct, has a little bit of negative gamma right now. So that means the market is slightly more net short options than net long options. That can create more volatility in Qs. We saw a little bit of that yesterday. Qs had a pretty decent run. But Qs, market's open. That's the bell. Qs, when I look at that, I really don't see... Let's look at kind of what's going on in the 1 hour here. If I had to kind of suspect where I think volatility could start to pick up, I think if we start getting 1 hour closes below 330, 329, I think that will start to kick in a little bit of volatility. And I think if you get below this area here, then I think option dealers and market makers are going to have to start hedging positions, and they'll be in a much different position gamma-wise. So for me, the key is really if Qs lose 327. If they lose that, then I think you can see a big, fast spike down. And that could easily get to 321, 320 in a hurry. Very quickly. So you could see a big kick in volatility at that point. But it's mild amount of negative gamma, and option positioning is light. Again, Qs is not one of those that you want to be necessarily taking breakouts right now. I prefer pullbacks. If we get a shallow pullback to the weekly VWAP, 332 flat might be a solid strike. Maybe close them out at 334 and then see if you can get the break above 335. That will be key for Qs. Above 335, I'm not seeing this being able to push a whole lot past that. I think that you're going to have you don't have a lot of call fuel beyond that. There's not a lot of people who are long calls beyond 336, 339 kind of thing. So there won't be a whole lot of fuel. That means it'll have to work harder the higher it goes to get up there. That's kind of what I'm thinking on Qs right now. But tech overhaul has been weak. There is some rebounds happening in tech, but bottom line is I don't feel like being aggressively long tech equities at this point. I think there's a few tech equities I'm happy about, which we'll talk about, which I am long right now, but I feel like I don't want to add a whole lot of long exposure on the tech side. I think there are other plays that could be really, really solid. IWM small caps also in a negative, much more negative gamma position. So I think you can expect a little bit of volatility in that, but at the same time, option positioning is pretty light. So just looking at option open interest and everything. Okay, so where do I think IWM? I feel like being that's in negative gamma, I don't want to be neutral options right now. It is trying to build. It has kind of a little line in the sand that needs to get past. So you have higher low, higher low, higher low. If it pushes here and gets a weaker bounce, then it's probably going to break out. But I think once we start getting to like 226 and 228, 229, IWM becomes a sell. That becomes a sell at that point. I don't want to do a neutral between here and 230 because of the negative gamma, but I do want to do a sell as we get to 228, 229. So might sell it outright, might do a bear put spread on that one there, maybe a put fly. But either way, once we start getting up here, I want to sell that because I think it's going to come back down. And so when we look at that on the weekly, yeah, you can see once we start getting right about there. Oops, that's not where I want it. Yeah, right about there. To me, that's a sell. It's only spent 2 weeks. It only closed 1 week above this level. And, you know, it is all-time highs in IWMs. So it's only had 1 week above it. It hasn't been able to maintain anything up there. And if you look at since then, most of the weekly pushes have been stalling around 227. So I think at 228, 229, it's very thin air. There's not going to be a lot of fuel for it to push higher. I think that becomes a reversal signal. And so I'll look to sell that one there. In terms of crypto, I want to talk more about Ethereum than I do want to talk about Bitcoin, partially because I'm long Ethereum. I don't have any Bitcoin exposure yet. So we told our members buy the dip 2,200 to 2,000, and it has rebounded nicely since then. But I think this rebound is probably going to lose a little bit of steam. We are kind of running into resistance right around 3,000. So I think a lot of this here, if you look at this kind of, so that was the spike low right there. And you can see there was a second attempt here and then immediate false break. And so I look at that as long-term value buyers, dip buyers feeling like 2,000. Even though it was at 1,900, I feel like people were thinking, hey, this is below 2,000. This is way undervalued at this point. So you had an immediate reversal above that, and it has not been back since. That means that the bulls had absorbed all of this selling pressure. This selling pressure over that was all last week. They absorbed it in one shot, and in a matter of hours, got it back above, and we haven't seen 2K since. So when I look at that, I think a fair amount of dip buyers came in this, bought the dip. The pullbacks have been decent, but VWAP is holding. However, I think when we get to 3K, you'll probably see some profit taking. Anybody who's long at 2K, they're up 50% on that play. I think you're going to see some profit taking that will reduce some of the fuel out of the market. And then we'll start to pull back and, you know, maybe 24, maybe 25. We'll see where it forms the next base. It may round trip back down. And if it does, I'll gladly add more Ethereum at this point. But I don't know if it's going to do that, but it's certainly a possibility. You can still expect some volatility in Ethereum right now. You can always expect volatility in crypto, but in this time, it's still a little bit more precarious. Some people didn't buy the dip. Some people were probably chasing some of this dip. We didn't get our account set up till about 22.50, so we bought it immediately, and we also added. We day traded it yesterday a couple times, won one, lost one, but overall net profit. And then we bought this break here right around 26 again, late yesterday session. Then we added again on the break of this. So we feel like we have a pretty good crypto position for like a medium term type thing. I'll still day trade it, but I'm not going to probably add any more medium term long exposure on this until we start getting a weekly close above 3,000, maybe even 3,200. Or it shows me a good base that is going to try the next leg up. So that's kind of what I'm thinking on Ethereum. Matic, when I look at Matic, if you think about this one here, this was Polygon, now referred to as Matic. This on Coinbase was only live a little bit ago. So there wasn't a whole lot of leverage built into this. In Ethereum's well known. A lot of people have positions in that. That was a lot of leverage that was being unwound. Matic, not so much. And so because of that, it did sell off, but it's also rebounded really fast. So we bought Matic. We felt this was a good one. We bought Matic on a couple dips here. We first got long Matic around 1.2. It's hard to... Coinbase is not the best platform for tracking this stuff. We bought the dip again yesterday at 167. Then we bought the breakout of 1984. So we have some good, what I feel, long, medium-term exposure on the long side. I'll still day trade it on dips, but right now Matic, in my opinion, seems like it wants to round trip back up to 2.5, 2.55. Then there'll be some profit taking. Then it'll pull back and build a base, maybe around 178. And then I think it's going to want to continue to push higher. So that's kind of what I'm looking at on Matic on crypto. Eric Sachs is saying, I use Coinly for crypto taxes, but it also tracks assets. For crypto taxes, but it also tracks assets. Is it... But is it a journal, though? Can I use it as a journal? That's the real question. Free crypto tax software. Okay. My accountant will probably appreciate that. My accountant was not happy when he found out I was not just getting into crypto, but also day trading crypto. He was not happy about that. Yeah, very unhappy people. I know, I get it. It's a pain in the ass for them. The last thing you want is your client making your work harder for you, but Binance better charts for Matic. You're saying the Binance feed for Matic? I'm trading off Coinbase, so I'll have to. But let's. You're saying Binance. Matic USDs. Yeah, I mean, I'm trading off Coinbase, so I'll just continue to use that. I think it's easier for me just to use the feed that I'm already trading off of. Better charts from Matic Exchange. Glad to make it. Welcome, Wallball. Good to see you here. So that's kind of thing on Matic. I also have Stellar exposure. We bought the dip on that one. And then what was the other one? Cardano. We have long exposure on that. The long exposure that we bought on the dips, that is more of a medium-term play. I am very bullish medium long-term on crypto. And so I definitely want to have a range of exposure. But I will continue to day trade it. We day traded it yesterday for our members, and we'll continue to day trade it. The volatility is fantastic. Crypto platforms are definitely lacking on a trading perspective. They have this nice GUI interface, but they're super basic. I'm used to Thinkorswim, way more sophisticated platforms. So trading on crypto platforms definitely has... The technology definitely has ways to go. I really don't know of any good, sophisticated crypto platforms that are, really good UX and good for more sophisticated traders like myself. So I'm kind of at a disadvantage on that. It definitely will have an effect on my ability to execute and trade as aggressively as I do. But, c'est la vie. Hopefully the technology starts to get better and better. Because of that, I don't see myself being like gangster day trader because I just don't have as sophisticated a platform to do it like I do with TD Ameritrade. But I will continue to do that for our members. So yeah. Looking at Binance, execution is better than Coinbase. We'll definitely take a look at Binance. Yeah, we'll take a look at it. It was such a pain in the butt to open up an account with crypto. The thought of opening an account with another platform sounds horrifying. Like, it was truly a pain in the butt. And I don't think it's like Coinbase's fault or anything like that. I think just regulations in the U.S. for us U.S. people is much more of a pain in the butt to open a crypto account than it is for people of other countries. Maybe I'm wrong, but it definitely has its challenges. So, not a fan of that. Okay, tech space. Where are we long in the tech space? Roblox. We shared these trade ideas with members. We were already long Roblox. We had bought bullish bull call spreads before this breakout. But once you had this breakout, totally new technical regime for Roblox. It totally reset the technical board. It reset the options board. It reset positioning. Just closing above this prior high for something that had been kind of going sideways. But earnings came out, gangster earnings, and it's just been, literally it opened a few cent dip, and it's just been gangster out of the week. So we have our options are already, we closed them yesterday for max profit on that one there. We bought the breakout of 87, which probably looks a little bit more clear on the 5-minute. If we get dips to 81 or 80, we'll gladly buy them. So we bought on this. We bought on this breakout right here. This, impulsive corrective move right off the bat. So there's the impulsive. There's the corrective. Found a base at a view up, pushed, and we bought that. We literally bought that candle right there. And the market came back correctively. Where did it come back to? Right to our entry. And said, hey, this is an area where a lot of traders want to be long. They're going to hold that line. Boom. So he had a second attempt to get long on that. I know some of our members are holding long Roblox, and we haven't, we've had one brief dip below that since then, but now we're at 90. So we're up about $3.75 on those longs that we added. I feel like Roblox, when I look at open interest on Roblox, there's a fair amount of options rolling off, around 40%. And the market is around 165,000 calls and 90,000 puts. So it's more long calls than it is puts, almost a 2-to-1 ratio. If 40% of that entire board, that options board, is rolling off, that means because there's more calls than puts, some of that call fuel is going to wind out of the market. And anybody who's long calls, nice breakout right there, that's very healthy. Anybody who's long calls is going to monetize that before it expires. And Learn to Trade just subscribed. Welcome aboard here. Good to have you here. So, with that being said, I think the later we go into the week on Roblox, I think the harder time it has pushing further and further, because a lot of that call fuel is going to start coming out of the markets. And so as that call fuel starts to come out of the markets, it's going to struggle more and more to gain, the same level $1, $2, $3 gains per day. So today, it's off to a decent start, but volume's a little bit low, 1.5. Average 10-day volume is 16. So it's only at 10% of that right now. I'm bullish on it right now, but then as Thursday and Friday comes, I'll probably start to trim some of my long exposure, wait for a pullback next week on Tuesday when the market reopens after the Monday holiday. The options board will reset. Then you're going to see a whole new set of options slowly start to build for the June expiry on Roblox or the next week expiry. So Thursday, Friday might get a pullback. I personally would like a pullback on it because I'd like to see a little bit better price on this one here. Instead of chasing the breakouts on this one heading into OPEX, weekly OPEX, I'd rather wait for a pullback on this one here. But I like Roblox. At this point, I think Roblox it's headed towards 100. I think in June we're hitting 100 on Roblox. That's my speculation on this one here. If we get a pullback on Roblox, what are some of the deep pullback levels I'd like to get long? 86, 87 isn't bad. This kind of 84 area, which was a breakout. And if Roblox is kind enough to get to 81, I will gladly add on more size there. So if I was to add on more size, I would add largest portion here, decent portion here, small amount here. Also, come Tuesday, since we have a big amount of options rolling off this Friday, I would like to set a whole new set of options, another bull call spread for Roblox for June expiry. So on Tuesday, we'll be reloading, assuming the price is good. We'll be reloading our bull call spread for Roblox on June, probably targeting 95 and 100. Sorry, I just heard some noise. Thought that might be my kitties, but it is not. So that's kind of looking at Roblox. Space, also bullish on this one here. Not only did they have, they had a big announcement, Catalyst, as we were hitting the lows, that they had good earnings and test flight. They are starting their first test flight. So Space has been one of the laggards in the space race, so to say, in terms of getting launches and things like that. And the fact that they were able to finally do that is very, very kind of positive news catalyst. So it's launched since then, 16 to 26 now. Our bull call spread, I think we still have it. It's in full profit at this point. we should be at max profit at this point. I think Space is probably going to try and push towards 30. So we already have long exposure on Space. If we get a dip to 23.82, 23.90, 24, then we'll add more size at that point. But we're going to try for a push, maybe get a little bit of pullback, and then try for a push up to 30. At that point, we'll take profit, let it pull back, build a new base, and then I think Space is going to want to try and push higher. It's definitely something that has attracted a lot of interest, but after this kind of massive run up, there was just some negative news catalysts and, sell off from 60 to 15. It's a huge drop. So there was kind of like a lot of pent up buying interest, but there wasn't a catalyst for people to get that. Now they have that. And so you saw definitely, look at the volume on this. It's a big surge in volume from the prior weeks. And then this week, we're at Wednesday. We've already matched last week's entire week's volume. So we're going to surpass that. That means people are buying the dip in Space. So that's how we're looking to trade it. Okay, so let's look at a few questions here. Wall saying WBA falling on Amazon news to pursue the prescription market. Yeah, we warn people about this, that watch out, that when Amazon says they're going to get into the prescription market, that the healthcare competitors that are already in that space, their stocks are going to fall and Amazon's going to jump. So yeah. Lucky Scalper, hi. How much you give important to OI data while price action trading? So order flow, open interest is an aspect of order flow in the markets. And option volumes are through the roof right now. That means they're a very large portion of the order flow. So whether I'm day trading or swing trading, option open interest is absolutely essential. So I give it a lot of importance. Hopefully I answered your question. Good morning to you, Victor. Good to have you here. So yeah, super important. We share the option open interest data every single day with our members and during the live trade. When I'm taking certain trades or looking at certain trades, I'm saying, hey, here's what I'm seeing in the open interest. This is how I'm reading the data. If my students have questions and I answer those questions in real time, I'll say, hey, this is what I see in that trade. This is what I'm seeing in the order flow and the options. These are the levels you got to watch out for. So it's absolutely essential, especially with volumes and options being at like all-time highs right now. Option volumes are insane right now. They're absolutely insane. They've exploded in the last 2 years. And I don't think that's going to end anytime soon. So when I think about that, if you have a large portion of the order flow pie being options, you should be paying attention to that. Absolutely. Okay, Futu. Ooh, Futu. That's a big sell-off. What happened? Any news on Futu? Let's check regular, and that's a big drop in Futu. What happened? Q1, nothing today. So why did Futu drop off like that? That's a $5 drop. Okay, we'll see if the weekly view up holds. It stopped right, like this $5 thing stopped right at the weekly view up right there. So we'll see on this one here. I was looking to sell Futu. I was kind of feeling like this structure was leading towards a breakout. So I was going to wait a little bit higher on Futu. I definitely want to sell Futu on a rally, but let's see how this last 30-minute drop kind of plays itself out. If it gets up here in a very timid way, then I may sell the 136. We'll see on that one there. Okay, let's take a look at Benzinga movers real quick, and then we'll do about 10-15 minutes open calls. Excuse me. Cough this morning. It's more of like a congestion going on than it is a cough. Okay, top movers on the day. AMC, boatload of volume. 69 million. I know these meme stocks have been getting a lot of attention lately. 69.5 million. The average is 89. Let me take a look at option open interest on AMC. See what you got to say. Okay. So about 35% of the options are rolling off this Friday. Market is approximately long about 1.8 million calls, and you have about 1.3 million puts. So some of that call support is going to roll off. The top open interest call is 40, and the top open interest put is 12. That's very interesting. So let's take a look at AMC. Okay. Top open interest call is 40. That is a huge. Wow. That's higher than all-time highs. And then the top open interest put is 12. So put buyers aren't really trying to, they don't think it's getting past 12, but then the call buyers have a much higher range to the upside. That should lend some support. That should lend some support on pullbacks. So AMC might be an interesting long play. Where would I want to get long? I'm thinking 15. 15 has a potential long point here. Important strike. Kind of this little peak over here as well. I think if we're lucky, maybe 1250. I don't know if we're going to get there, but there is a lot of volatility in this stock and a lot of crazy flows in it. So I'm going to set alert for 1259. And then I'm going to set an alert for, let's set it for 1504. So I'll put a decent amount of exposure, moderate amount at 15, a lot more size at 12.5. This will probably act as a base, and then we should get, like we may get to 20 today, but then I think it'll pull back once those options start to roll off. Then it should form a higher base, and we are seeing this kind of higher base. So higher base, higher base, higher base, higher base, higher base. But AMC does have a tendency to roll over. So all these little kind of explosions, pull back, explosion, pull back, explosion, pull back, explosion, pull back. This too will likely pull back. So AMC on this one here, I'm going to watch for a pullback, and then we'll probably try and target 18 and then 20. And then we'll see how things go from there. So that's kind of what I'm thinking on AMC, but bullish on this. Just wait for the pullbacks on this one here. Take a look at a couple more Benzinga movers, then we'll do some open callouts. Space we've already talked about. GME. Let's see. Any other? Nothing gangster on the volume. TCAN, 2 million. It's low in volume. Okay. So no real high volume ones stand out. And so, okay, we can do some open callouts. Open callout rules are: 1, if you want to look at an instrument, you want me to do analysis on it, you got to give me 3 things. The symbol name, the time frame you want me to do analysis, and 1 sentence description, bullish or bearish. Those are 3 things for callouts. If you don't have it, won't do the analysis. If you do have it, you'll get it. Justin Goodman. Give me a time frame, Justin Goodman, on CCL. I like travel. I don't want to be aggressive on travel right now, though. I want to wait for deeper pullbacks on travel. So I think you're still going to have... I think there's a lot of bullish pent-up interest in it, but there's still going to be a lot of delays on things. And it also depends upon how many people are getting vaccinated and things like that. Vaccine passports. There's all kinds of complications. So I'm medium to long-term bullish on travel, but I wouldn't be wanting trading breakouts on this one at all. Want to trade pullbacks, be cautious on it. It's going to take a while for travel to really start screaming again. So weekly on that one. Okay. You are thinking a bear call spread. What strikes are you looking at on your bear call spread? 28th expiry. What's your strikes? So for those of you who don't know what a bear call spread, a bear call spread is a bullish play, but you're going to sell. You're going to sell a call below the market, and then you're going to buy a call further out. And because you're selling the near strike, at the money, near at the money, you'll get more premium for that, and then you'll buy a further one out in case it does sell off aggressively here. So it's a credit spread. Let's see. So what are your strikes on that? 29. Okay, what else? You have to have 2 strikes for a bear call spread. So what's your second strike? 29.23 for a 76 credit. Is your max risk beyond 76? I wouldn't want to be selling a credit at 29. I wouldn't. I would lower it. Like my first strike would be below 29. Let me look and see what's going on in options on CCL. %. Market is almost 2-to-1 long calls versus puts. So a lot of those calls are going to get monetized. I think it's going to start to run into resistance soon. Yeah, I mean, this is a huge set of resistance here. That is a huge set of resistance. I actually think this is going to pull back a little bit as you get closer and closer to the week. So yeah, I wouldn't want to sell the 29. I would want to lower my first strike on that one there. That's my thoughts on that one. Okay, next on the list. Wall ball, GDX, bullish 1 hour, 4 hour breakout retest of 40. Okay, let's take a look. I already have some precious metals exposure. I don't really want to add any, but gold has been definitely having a good run as of late. 1 hour, 4 hour breakout retest of 40, target 44, stop 38.50. Well, you're below 40 right now. I wouldn't take a breakout retest on GDX. Yeah, I think GDX is probably going to pull back a little bit. The good thing is that you don't have a whole lot of options rolling off this Friday. It's for June expiry. There's not a lot of short-term interest in GDX. Yeah, I'd wait for a pullback. It already has a good base. This is pretty thick, and it hasn't really been able to maintain that. I'd wait for a pullback to at least 39, in my opinion. Have some size there. Where else would I want to have more size? Let me go to a weekly real quick just to kind of get an idea. Yeah, this 3760 isn't bad as well. 3760, 38 maybe. You're going to have the monthly VWAP as support right above it there. This is a pretty big run though. Top open interest call is 40 and top open interest put is 35. So yeah, I don't think it's going to get past 40 this week. We'd have to have some sort of catalyst or something like that to push past that. But I don't see us getting past 40 this week. So I wouldn't want to take that breakout because you don't have there's no options fuel beyond that. Not a whole lot. So I would wait for pullbacks anywhere between monthly VWAP, maybe 37. Wait for a little bit of a pullback. Yeah. That's my thoughts on that one. Okay, OCGN. Interested in getting long at 560 to play the CS. Let's take a look. On H4. Okay. Big sell-off. You're thinking... Auctions aren't really that gangster on OCGN. Yeah, it's going to roll back some more, for sure. It's definitely going to roll back some more as we get later in the week. So you're thinking 560? Where's 560? Yeah, it's a good level. I like it. I think it should hold that level. And you don't need a tight stop on this one here. You know, you can do just a few cents below $5 in my opinion. And then, yeah, in my opinion, I think that's likely to hold. I think it's likely to hold. They had earnings. There was a miss. Estimate was 19 minus 4. Yeah, it was a big miss. That did not help. So, yeah, pull back on that one there. They do have some potential good news in the pipeline, but it's not enough yet. They need more finalization on their Covaxin thing. So, yeah, that's what I'm looking at on that one there. Justin Goodman is saying, I've been using open interest by Thinkorswim. Is this sufficient enough? I think that's better than nothing. Do I think it's as efficient as you can get? No. But I think it's good enough for now. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Any last calls before we wrap it up? I got to get to live trading with the members. We are now half hour into the market. So any last call outs? We'll go 3 more minutes. And then we'll wrap it up. That will have been almost an hour. And if you haven't already, what do you need to do? What do you need to do? Smack it, whack it, spank it, that like button. Did a lot of callouts, a lot of analysis. Yeah, hit the like. Exactly. If you haven't already, you should be hitting that like. Okay. No last callouts. Wallball saying, seeing you in the room. I will see you soon, good men. Okay. No last callouts. Going once. I did say I wait 3 minutes, so I'll wait a few minutes on that one there. Any others? Let me see any movers on this one here. AMC still ripping. Space. The final frontier. GameStop. There's a fair amount of options activity this week on GameStop. I was keeping an eye on that. There was a fair amount of options activity on GameStop. No other gangster volume movers. AMC is the volume mover. So we'll have to keep an eye on AMC today. Because that's a boatload of volume. That is a boatload. Okay. Doesn't look like there are any more callouts. And Yohan F just subscribed. Welcome aboard. Good to have you here. All right. Constantine saying thank you, Chris. Wish you good trades today. And you as well. All right. We're going to wrap it up. So I hope you enjoyed the session. Good luck trading today, everybody. I will see you guys this Friday for open Q&A. We'll do about an hour session. We'll start at 6:30. We'll go to about 7:30. So good luck trading, and I'm going to see members in the live trade room very soon. And that's it. Be smart, be safe. I'll see you guys next time. Take care, everyone.